We're talking UNI Panther volleyball as they wrap up the spring season here in 2024. Joined with UNI head coach Bobbi Petersen. Bobby, a lot of momentum coming off this fall season. MVC regular season champs going unbeaten through conference play, winning the conference tournament, making the NCAA tournament. What do you like just about the energy around the returners coming off such a successful season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is all the work that they know they put in to be able to get to that point. And so you have leaders that understand, yeah, it doesn't just happen. There's things that we have to do, and that starts in January and the work that we put in. And it's a lot of work. It's a grind. It's probably the toughest part of the year for a lot of different reasons. So that energy is great, but you also have to remember how you got there. So we have great leadership in that way, so really a positive part of it.
What are things you have your team work on in terms of individual skill versus teamwork in the spring?
Yeah, the spring I love it because it is definitely the time that you get better as an individual. The way our system works, you basically show up, you have 2 weeks, and then you have to play. So you have to do a lot of team things. You do some individual things, but this is the time we really focus in on an individual player. So it looks very different for each player, but yet your position groups train together. But we can say, okay, Lily, you need to get better at this, so we're going to focus drills on that. And then we also obviously want the team part of it. And I think the other thing that we love to do is if there's something different system-wise that we want to put in. So we want to try to run a faster offense. The spring is the time to try to work on that and see if that's something we're going to be able to do or not. And that was one of the things I was most excited about this spring is we tried to implement a little faster offense to our pins, but we had the time to actually work on that. And we've done that other years, and it's like, I don't know if that's what we're going to do. So, but it's a chance to try a lot of different things as well as grow individual people as well.
Coach, you graduated a ton of all-conference performer type kids. Taylor Alden at setter, obviously one of those quarterback type positions is a big change. Sydney Golden got in at setter, and you're only setter this spring, so she's getting a lot of reps.
She is, and you know that's the kind of the tough part because you don't get a chance to do a lot of that back and forth competition. But the positive part is Sydney gets a lot of reps, and you're working with one person, so that connection becomes very strong because you're not going back and forth between two. So really, you know, Sydney took ownership. That's what we needed her to do. This is my team right now, and I want to develop. And she's part of the reason we've been able to implement that faster offense because she's capable of doing that. The tough part is, you know, as a setter, there's so many different things to work on. So she has a lot going on in her head, and you really just have to focus in on one thing. And for us right now, it's her ability to run the offense. So, but yeah, when you have a setter that's been there for 4 years, there's a lot of differences, and they're totally different players, but both great in their own ways.
Olivia Chernagel and Kira Fallert, the longest tenured Panthers that are back. What do you see from them in terms of leadership, but also continuing to prove their skills?
Yeah, Kira is one, you know, from day one, she had a big workload, 6 rotation player ever since she's been here. So that's improved just because the amount of sets she's getting, the amount of plays she makes. But now we look for her to be the leader as well. So she's developed, that was one of her biggest focuses this year is how I'm going to develop as a leader. And that was huge. Olivia, the same way, has had a lot of time in the court. She's one right now that has to be flexible in position for us because she is so good at multiple positions, and part of it is what is the rest of our team going to do. That'll be the decision maker on what Olivia needs to do. So she's been very flexible with that, and also again great leadership from those two. We need that, but still very driven to be individually better, and I think that's really important too, and it's a great example for our younger people.
All right, a really important time for UNI Panther volleyball. We'll have more on some of the returners and some kids that got just a taste this last fall. More coming up here after this.
The Strategic Play of the Week, brought to you by Strategic Imaging, your one-stop shop for print marketing, signage, apparel, and promotional items.